Hey gamers, it's A here. Today I'm gonna be doing a tier list with Adora.
Hi guys.
Today we're going over who are our favorite characters in Lobotomy Corp. How we're gonna be ranking this is based on general backstory, their suppression if they had one. If not their suppression, then their overall presentation of character in the story.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Adobo?
Yeah.
Okay. First up, we have Hubera
Hoobera.
or Gebra. Let's see.
She's
What do you think of Gebra's suppression?
thick. I mean no.
Her suppression, not her presentation.
Gabrielle is so her suppression was pretty like scary. Well, when she comes in, she's just standing there menacingly as you're wondering like, what are we supposed to do? Do we poke her? Do we just like, what do we do? Do we just leave her in here?
Just leave her in the corner. I think Gebra's probably one of my favorite suppressions. It might have been the most difficult, but I definitely think it was one of the most fun and challenging. I also think story-wise I like her a lot, but I might be biased. I don't know.
Look, she's thick. No, but she actually has a very interesting. No, she has a very interesting personality in contrast for everyone else. That's for sure. She has more life experience and is more down to earth than a lot of people realize.
That's true. She's also a hot simp, so Gebra's an S tier.
Hard.
Okay, next up we have Mio. Mio does not have a suppression, technically. But she does suppress the abnormalities. Points fingies. Yep. I like Mio. She's probably not one of my favorites. Only because we haven't really gotten to see much of her. We only have, like, that one scene where, like, she's talking with Gebra and she insults Gebra. You know, and if you think about it, she sees Gebra as a lunchbox, whereas we see her as, you know, Gebby. Yeah.
I have to say though, Mio is interesting design-wise because she is a stark contrast with everyone else. Because she's one of the few characters with actually hair is white. Like, if you compare it to Angela, hers is like gray and blue. And then we have 3 black hair characters, 1 gray. She's the only one with pure white. But she also has something similar, which is, remember the scene with Carmen? She had red eyes, and she's the other person we know technically that has red eyes. So that's kind of interesting. Just appearance-wise. But backstory-wise, we don't know much, only she's from the outside of L Corp. She's kind of like, design-wise, great. Story-wise,
Yeah, there's just not much substance. I'll give her B for Bunny.
yeah!
Sorry, my boy Gabriel. Okay, as much as I clowned on Yasad, I think he has one of the most in-depth stories. Like, at least in terms of intricacy, he went from being someone who was, like, very emotionless, and, like, he finally, like, allowed himself to have a friend, and then he felt betrayed because, you know, he then had to put that friend out of their misery because they did not, meet, like, certain conditions, like, for working, and they went insane and started to try to let other abnos out. I believe that's what that one was, if I remember correctly. But, you know, just, it turned in depth into, like, Yasad just became afraid of himself and afraid of his inability to just maintain discretion. So, like, I don't know, it was a very interesting arc to experience. Did I like his suppression? Hell no. Like, I don't usually curse in my videos, no profanity, but hell no. That was, yikes. My eyes.
That's true.
What do you think, Adobo?
As you said, Yasad has a very interesting backstory, which is wonderful. In a sense that it gave us more depth. That's why I like his clothing is more concealed, if you notice from everyone else. He has a turtleneck on a t-shirt, on a button-up t-shirt or a vest, and he's And his stature is more closed off because he has the crossed arms and he's looking at you with a slice. With his, like, beady eyes, his pointy eyes. Just like, judging us. He's very sassy, too.
Yeah. I'm putting Yasog in S tier for sass. Gabriel's a sassy boy. Next we have A. Or I'll let you start. What do you think of A?
I don't know. He's just homeboy just simped over a girl, like, who died because, you know, and then the girl was like, "Hey, you gotta finish my life's work," and he's like, "Okay," and I'm over here like, "But why?" Why?
Well,
like,
yeah. If we recap like A's story, I guess, you know, it seems like him and Carmen had a thing. Like, it's very much implied, I guess. I think Carmen was like destroyed at one point because like she thought Enoch or Enosh, I don't know how you say his name, man. This kid was like her kid though. Like, she thought of him as like her child. You know, and like when he died in the experiment, like it just shattered Carmen. And like A kind of reviews that or goes over that at the end of the thing. And he talks about how like Carmen had a weak heart, but she tried to carry on and inspire others. I don't know. I feel like A's story could have had more depth though, and maybe it's just because he was the last puzzle piece, you know? And like I think with this story, with like memory and stuff, you're more likely to remember the beginning and the end of a story, not necessarily because of the significance, but because it's just the first and last thing that you saw. But if I'm being honest, like, I remember almost nothing about this guy other than the fact that like Hakma is just like his white knight, literally. That's like all I could tell you, and that he liked Carmen and like that was his waifu, but I don't know. To me, it feels like there could have been more substance building up to A, especially with the reveal that we were like the robot version of him.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's very interesting in a story sense and everything. Like, we've been placed as A, but we have nothing of him. It feels like it's his atonement. Okay, so this is just going into the whole story, but it feels like the whole lobotomy thing was his atonement. He would rather let everyone else he knows flourish. And in the sense to Angela, which is weird, and let himself die, be forgotten. Like, literally, that was the end. He was like, and now I turn into light and be forgotten. It's like, gone. Yeah. But then, everyone else has to be with Angela and be like, yo, we gotta take care of your daughter, homeboys. And Hawkman's like, you shouldn't have done this, but I'll take care of her. Adopted child.
Yeah.
Angsty
I mean,
teenager.
I don't know that Angela was supposed to be their kid. I think Angela was meant to like replace Carmen. I think. Anyway, I'll get into more of that in a second when we get to Angela. But yeah, as for A, I do agree. I think it was like his atonement. Do I think it was great? No. Just no. But I mean, I think A was made to be like the more antagonistic character. I wouldn't call him a villain because he didn't do it with malicious intent. But I would say he's the antagonist because everyone else in the story is against him. For that, A, like, your name might be A, but you're kind of a C tier. I'm not really a fan of that.
You're a C tier for Carmen.
Thanks. Shrimp. Anyway, let's see. Our boy Net, and I'm not gonna say his name because I don't need this video to get demonetized.
Wait, you get demonetized for saying his name?
If I say it too many times, it like, sometimes it flags the video, and I'm like, point singies.
I point at him, your name shall be Dud Greenbean.
Greenbean. Okay, yeah. Greenbean, like, I think his story was interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, only because I have sympathy for him, because like, there are people that genuinely do not feel fulfillment in life, in the sense of, like, you never find your drive, right? The thing that motivates you to go to the ends of the earth. But, for Net, that was Carmen, because he admired the way that she could, like, so valiantly dedicate herself to her cause.
Mm-hmm.
But like character-wise, Net just feels kind of empty for me. I think in Library he gets better, but since this is about lobotomy, I cannot account for what's in Library. And in Lobotomy, I feel like, you know, he decided he was gonna live for himself, like the fearlessness to live, or to continue on, but, you know, in Lobotomy, though, I just feel like his reasoning for being there was just so hollow that, like, yeah, he does feel really disconnected from the other characters, even when they have, like, the scenes where he interacts with other of, like, the characters. It just feels so, like, disconnected, like he just doesn't belong. And that's just me. His suppression was also just... That was the only tier 1 suppression that I first tried. And it was just kind of... I don't know. I love his story, though, but... otherwise, outside of it not feeling fulfilled, I do like that he chose to move on and be better, but... What I don't like is just... The suppression was kind of easy, because I admittedly, I was a bit overleveled for it. But also... I don't know. It's just the way that he kind of fits in with everyone else. It feels like he's just a placeholder almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I think that's why Netsack feels offstandish. Not offstandish, but not off-putting, offsetted.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that's
It's like he's not...
He's out of place.
Yeah, he's out of place because in the story that we learned, he was the test subject. And, he's not like Hod and Malkuth, who are scientists, or Ches, who's a rich boy, and Bina, who's a cool lady who'll kill us, and Gebi, and Yasad. He's just... He's a dude who volunteered because he got very enamored and inspired. But when faced with the fact that it might kill him, he was like, you know what, I'll do it. Maybe out of me, who can't do anything, something will happen, something amazing will change because of me.
I'm not,
you know?
I'm not sure if you're confused on what the experiment was for, but he was put under to try to revive Carmen.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. We're on the same
No,
page.
yeah, that's what I meant, because he did the experiment to bring back Carmen. He was, you know, in a sense, he was there. He was in, you know, what you call it? Because I know Yasad is the other one, I think, right? The other experimental man?
No, Yasad was just, like, okay. What happened with Yasad is, like, after he watched, original Malkuth die, he was, like, scratching at himself, because, like, the Kogito... I imagine the experiment, like, physically distorted her body and made her, like, actually, like, slowly start decaying. But, like, A didn't put her out of her misery. He just let her slowly die, and he walked away. And, you know, Yasad was one of the people that witnessed that, and, like, ever since then, Yasad has just been scratching at his body. So, like, once that started happening, they had to, he would dress, like, and cover himself and everything. They ordered him for a medical examination. He refused. So they then had to force the examination. And he died during that process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am mixing those two a little bit. But no, I know that Netsack, I can't say, Green Bean, did give up his life for Carmen, because I know he himself does not see himself as someone who can do anything. I think Green Bean is afraid of stepping forward, that's for sure. I mean, this is outside of Lobotomy, because in Library we see good things, but it's like here, it's the stage of everyone's fears and, you know, things coming and getting him. So unfortunately, he was boring in a sense, and he doesn't get better until, you know, yes, he's part of the green
gang. Okay,
yeah.
Hod is one of, like, my favorites. Her suppression kind of made me mad. Definitely ruined, what was it, day 47 for me? Angry, because she lowers everybody's stats and she ruined everything. Hod, I hate you. So her suppression wasn't one of my favorites. It's very annoying, I'd say. I lost a lot of people for dumb reasons, but you know what, Hod, I still love you. I think her story is the most confusing for me. Maybe it's because I skipped, I think I may have skipped through one of the cutscenes, admittedly, because I don't remember. But from what I can remember, she was being pressured by another company because it got found out that she was working at Corp. So I think another company was like pressuring her to expose the secrets of the company, and then she did. She exposed those secrets, and then that's when everyone came to try and take down Lobotomy Corp. So people like Bina and the others. Like, the head, or not the head, I think it's like the eye, or something, there's something that comes in, and then that's what sets off the chain of events for everything falling apart at Corp, where everyone's like attacking. And the claws come and stuff like that. So like, Hod's betrayal ultimately leads to her like committing suicide, right? And like throughout Corp, how she's like trying to cope with that is like she's trying to be nice to everyone and help everyone because she feels bad for what she did in her first life. Now, you know, I don't know. Me personally, I see Hod as someone who's like just not thinking about herself. I don't know how Hod got to Lobotomy Corp. That part was never explained to me. But to me, it almost seems like it wasn't Hod's choice to be here. She's one of the youngest on the team. She's very bright. She's very smart. Like, you know. To me, it just seems like Hod didn't want to be here. And she made friends with everyone. And at the end of the day, when her friends started dying, she tried to do what she thought was going to save everyone. And, you know, it led to more catastrophic events. But she did it with good intent. I think. I think Hod cared more about the people than the experiment, if I'm being honest. And I think, like, that kind of goes to show in Runia later on, but again, we're not bringing up Runia, but I already thought that way anyways. But I don't know. I'd say her suppression was definitely a challenge. It was annoying, but her story confuses me for a lot of different reasons. Maybe I don't understand. I don't know. What do you think of that one?
Everyone bullied her. Not gonna lie. I think Hod did what she had to do because a lot of people died that she saw personally working there, and it affected her so much that she had to tell, because it's like is she being forced to, like, well, not forced to, but she thought if, you know, showing what happened in the company, maybe something would be noticed and the place can get better. Oh, they're gonna destroy it, not good. And, you know, that's the tragic sense of the story. It's just, I feel bad for her because she was trying her best. She was really, truly trying her best. And, you know, she also realizes, like, she's being, you know, because I believe there was a scene where she said that she was being nice for her own gain, for her own self, but tries to still be like, I think how do I say this? It's like trying to say you want to be nice to actually be kind, because nice is a very two-faced word, while kind is a more of a true word. Like, how do I say this? I'm trying to
you can be nice because you want something in return, but being kind is doing it out of your heart for no gain.
Yeah, that's what's happening with Hod, is like she's, with everything that happened to her, she's kind of like trying to figure out if she's nice or kind with everything, because it's like she knows what her actions has done and how it affected everyone in the facility. And it's like, I think in this time in Lobotomy, like, as she's working as one of the lunch boxes, it's like she's trying to get through that. And I think at the end of it, she was like, I want to be kind, you know, kind of deal. I want to be the person who's still, you know. She had so cute hair.
Yeah. For me personally, I think Hod's a B tier. Yeah. It's mostly the suppression that's I'm thinking of, but
I'm sorry, Hod. It's just because you Cheese!
This guy.
Cheese.
I don't like him. Man. I don't know. Let me be honest for a moment.
Okay.
Ches to me comes off really weird. He's like a very like suave kind of guy, and he tries to like almost pretend like he's humbled. Why'd the lobotomy music stop? There we go.
It's because you're going to meme on him.
Yeah, Corp knew I was gonna clown him. Anyway. I can't take this guy seriously because, I don't know, his whole thing is like, Carmen convinced me, so I came to Corp, right? And then he like started to care about his comrades, or like his teammates, or whatever you want to call them, like his peeps, you know? And
yeah,
constantly Angela reminded him like, oh, don't do that, you know? And like he went out of it, like Ches before becoming Ches was really smart. I think Daniel was a very excellently written character. He's very charismatic. He genuinely had care for his people, and then he watched everyone die. And then he just kind of gave up and just was like, coffee, because Angela was like, oh, just drink some coffee. You know, and it just became like this very abusive relationship between him and Angela. He just gave up and would just do as she says. I like when he, like, leading into his suppression, he's like, this will be my final rebellion, or whatever. And Angela's like, oh, it will amount to nothing anyways. And, you know, I like that he tells her, like, it doesn't matter what you think, like, this was for me, not for you. I like that aspect. As for his suppression, though, it wasn't really a challenge, I'd say. I don't know. It wasn't really... It was just, don't work on these abnos and you'll be fine. And, yeah. And even some of them I could just work on anyways because my stats were too high. I think a lot of it came down to being over-prepared, but, I think the only time it was scary was, what was it, day 48 with him and Geb, and, like, you know, and Tiferet suppression all at the same time. But that was kind of, I don't know. Other than that, like, I like Daniel, but I don't know how I feel about Ches in the Second Life. Like, I don't know if that's something I enjoy, because I don't know, it's to the point where I don't even remember the words that were said in regards to him, because that, like, that part of his story was so, to me, what felt like insignificant. And maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but Ches didn't, like, because, like, at least with Netsack, he decided, you know, I'm gonna try to live for myself, right, at the end of it, at the very least. You know, Hod decided she wants to be kind, Gebra decided she still wants to protect the things that she cares about, that she's not gonna give up. You know, Yasad kind of decides that he can be open about his emotions, but also still be discreet. He has decided that, you know, that he can confide in people. With Ches, I don't even really... I don't know if he just, like, decided to fight back against Angela. Like, it seems like that might have been the projection, but, like, even in the ending of Corp and, like, even in Library, he just still seems to be in that weird parasitic relationship with Angela. And maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but that's just my synopsis on that. What do you think?
Well, from my perspective, I think... I think the reason why Daniel, aka Ches, decided to keep following Angela and her words is the only time, well, many of times, because he was taking care of, he is the welfare, he has tried his best to, like, what you call it, save his people, make sure they're okay. And I think a lot of the times his decisions got them killed or hurt and all that. And as it continues on and on, I think Ches / Daniel kind of started, like, doubting themselves, doubting their abilities. You said he in the beginning he was a very suave, charismatic, kind of very, not very, smart person who's he seems he knows what to do. That good, Lobotomy Corp will it literally is the place where it whittles everyone's will, soul, and heart away really badly. And Daniel at the start was a very bright person who thought he can handle it. But as we can see in the events of Lobotomy Corp, he just starts spiraling down of doubt, apathy, and just like unsure if he's even, you know, good at he's good for this job. Like he's like what he's done before and after. Like he had high hopes, now his hopes have been crushed. And Angela coming in, I think Angela saw that Ches was slowly like losing his sense of self, his sense of own self, and was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna just start telling you what to do and you'll listen to me and and it'll be okay kind of deal. Because I think from this then on, Chaz is like, if I listen to Angela, it's not on me, it's on her. Kind of deal?
Yeah. That's a really interesting way to rationale it, I guess, yeah.
Cause, yeah, I mean, cause...
no, I'm just saying that because, like, if that's the case, then, like, the event where, like, he just gives in to where Daniel gave into, I forget who it is that comes to, like, get him. I think it was...
Bamboozle him?
No, yeah, like, someone invaded, I forget who visits him. But they were like, I don't think it was the claw. I think it was one of the fingers. I'm actually not sure. Someone will have to in the comments verify that for me, because
yeah.
But someone visits him and is like, okay, if you let these abnormalities out, maybe I will let your team live.
Yeah.
And Daniel decides, he panics and decides in that moment he's gonna follow that person's orders because he's thinking about his team.
Yeah.
To me, all of that is in character. Daniel investigated the one time an abnormality breached, and, because it said that the lock was dysfunctional, but he knew that morning that it was still functional. This is a separate event. But, he then found out that Angela did it, and Angela's just like, that I'm the most perfect AI in the entire world. Like, I did this on purpose, basically. I was just wondering if you'd find it. Did you enjoy your little investigation? Like, yeah, I think I could see it. I still think his suppression was weird, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Understandable.
For me, Ches is a C tier for cheese, but
yeah, I would say this for Ches. He was looking for someone as a savior, or someone who will take the reins off him, because he's like he can't be the savior. I think in his heart, like he can be, he had the potential to be, but I think everything that has happened crushed him, especially Angela, now that you said that, probably crushed his ideas of himself.
That's the thing though, is like, I don't like I said, it seems like Ches just gave up, because even in so far, obviously I haven't gotten that far through Runia, but even in Runia, he still seems very much the same. And to me, it just seems like Ches might never resolve his trauma. As much as I think like every other character, even Green Bean over here has walked away a bit more powerful, I think Ches probably was the weirdest one. The reason Green Bean will be in green tier is just because, indeed, like, at least Ches' suppression was a little bit challenging. Green Bean's not so much.
Sorry, Green Bean.
Sorry, man.
But yeah, it's okay, Chi.
Yeah. Moving on to Carmen. Oh, sorry.
Carmen! I was just gonna say he'll be fine, it's okay. He has coffee. But Carmen!
He'll cope. Copium.
Copium.
Carmen... What was so great about this woman? Okay, hold on.
That's the thing.
Like,
she's so charismatic.
Yeah, no, we've never, like... I guess I have a hard time with this, because, like, right? So, for me, I always try and envision, like, everyone as a character from L Corp, right? And, everyone wants to tell me I'm Malkuth, but I feel like I relate to Carmen on so many different levels. Maybe it's wrong to say that, but, for me, I'm kind of like, okay, you know, Carmen story-wise, I can very much sympathize with her decisions. Not that, like, I would do it the same way, but simply just that Carmen had a vision and she had a cause. She convinced everyone to follow that cause, and the further she got, I think the more she doubted it, and the second that she saw that Enoch was sacrificed, she kind of fell apart. And I think it's because, you know, ultimately she wanted to be the one to sacrifice herself.
Mm-hmm.
If it came to that, but at that moment she probably didn't have a choice. And I can't really tell that. You know, Tiphareth telling her, oh, you should have died instead of him, probably set off a very big catalyst, because Carmen was very passionate about her project, and then from that point on, you know, when we go through A's story, he kind of details that Carmen slowly fell apart. Later, you know, Carmen ended up taking her own life, and then from there, you know, Carmen gave up on her project.
Kinda?
Well,
I don't think she gave up, but it's...
Well, no. She took her own life. They took her out of the bathtub and made her burrowing heaven. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she is also the bathtub abno.
No. That's not her. That abnormality just spawned because of... She is... Adora, she's burrowing heaven. She's the green thing in the container.
Yeah, no, I didn't say anything.
No, you said she's the bathtub.
Well, no, I'm not saying she is the bathtub. I meant she created the bathtub too.
Well, I mean, yeah. When she became, like, the little weird tree seed... when she became the well is when they birthed every other abnormality out of her.
Yeah.
I don't like to think of it that way. Yeah. But
I have to say, though, Carmen is a very interesting character for the aspect of she has managed to call in all of these people. Amazing people, gotten connections even with the others. Well, that's probably A more so, but still. Wait.
I mean, no. Carmen did get a lot of these people. The only person that A himself got was Hawkma, and that's because they were friends prior, if I'm understanding that correctly. And, you know, obviously Carmen never met Angela, so...
I'm just trying to figure out how, like, Carmen had the weakest hearts, that's for sure. She had the most charismatic air on her. I remember saying that even if she died because of that one cutscene, continue the project and use her. Like, I think I realized something. I realized that if the depression is people are gonna die more in her instead of herself, because she likes taking things under her own hands, that's for sure. She started all of this. She called upon these people. She could have just been like, you know, hunkadory, because all of these guys kind of lived in the nest except for the twins, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of... How do I explain it? I don't know. I relate to Carmen in the aspect of, like, always trying to dream big and, like, gather people for bigger projects, but, like, it's the part that, like... okay, I think Carmen is probably the strongest mentally if she carried on knowing that a lot of people died in the facility. You know, and in the experiment. I think the biggest thing was just when Tiphareth told her it should have been you, like when Tiphareth was having, like, you know, obviously she was mad because her brother died. I think for Carmen, that just kind of made her doubt all of the sacrifices and all of the work that went into the project.
That is for sure.
Seeing that it hurt someone else and someone that she personally cared about.
I'll say this though, since he'll be coming up later, he did volunteer. That's the thing, even though she didn't want and all that.
I think what Tiphareth doesn't realize is that Enoch kind of just gave up before they even got there. Like, even in, like, the cutscenes where, like, they were kind of outside, he already, like, a lot of it was hinting at, like, that he would have died to protect her. Like, Enoch to Lily.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, I think the boy was just looking to just be out of the light. Like, that sounds really wrong, but I think, like, he was just trying to move on because he just wasn't happy with his life, and he didn't see himself finding a purpose. And that was...
I see.
Yeah, and...
He's looking up to older brother Greenbean.
Facts. I mean, yeah, when you're a kid, like, your emotions are more amplified than as an adult in certain stages. And, like... Okay, anyway, wait. Save that for later, hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
So, for Carmen, for me, I would have to say Carmen is probably... I don't know, Carmen's probably a B tier. I don't really like myself. I meme about that in every video, but yeah, I relate to Carmen, like, even outside of just, like, YouTube, I've been told a lot of times, like, oh, like, it's like, you're really inspiring, and this and that, and, like, that scares me. Because I don't think of myself as a great person. So, to kind of be hit with that reality, like, if I were Carmen, I could not imagine the amount of pressure I would feel for my project, and then, yeah, hearing that from Tifrith would probably piss me off. But, like, not at Tifrith, but at myself. So, I can understand Carmen, and maybe that's why I don't like her. I don't know. But, for me, Carmen's a B tier.
B tier.
Yeah. Bina!
Sorry,
I shrimp for Bina.
She is a mysterious lady, that's for sure.
I'm just gonna... There's no justification needed.
Again, I keep saying this. All of the ones with the black hair or similar black-ish hairstyles, y'all come from a different plane of existence, that's for sure. I don't know what you guys have done, or what you have given up, or what you have seen, but we don't know you guys, and it's confusing and scary. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's like, whatchamacallit, Bina, okay, I like Bina for a lot of different reasons. I think her writing as an antagonist is just beautiful. She fully was going in to invade the place and absolutely just decimate everything.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a picture of her having tea while the other place is being decimated. That's for sure.
She technically lost to Gebra. They both kind of lost that, but, you know, they later kidnapped Bina and put her in a lunchbox. I think she was one of the first ones, it seems like, based on the story and stuff. Ish. You know, and, you know, like, that kind of... How to explain it? It's amazing to me how, despite her situation, she very much still taunted A and just didn't just give in to just being there. She was put to be on the worst team. She would watch the people become abnormalities. And she had the resilience and the strength to just stay sane. And she admits that she thinks that no one else could have done that. And she thinks that it's amazing how she, as who was supposed to be the villain in the story, was now forced to watch all of this unfold. I think it's very in character that she ends up siding with Angela. And, you know, then joins Angela in the chaos that is the end of it. Because obviously Bina had no reason to be there. But even Bina constantly questions the morality and just, like, stands there. Like, Bina and Hakma are probably... Like, I enjoy... Even though Hakma, like, mind boggles me with his metaphors. I enjoy that they constantly put into question the bigger picture of the story.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I mean... when they first went into her brain, both A and Benja, like, they figure out how the head works, the claw, the eyes, and everything works. They could have done so many different things, but they first and foremost done Carmen's dream first. Which is the most shrimpin' thing ever. No, but man, I'm kind of, now that you bring up Bina and everything, and I kind of wonder what A and Benjamin wanted to learn? Or what have they learned that they're not telling us because they got the information out of Bina. And in library, we still haven't gotten anything out of that at all. Nothing, nada. It's actually, I'm over here like, where did that information go? Where is it coming from? What are you, why?
Actually, on second thought, despite that, Bina is probably my favorite character entirely. I think based on the conditions, I probably have to put her in A tier because her suppression was kind of a joke. But the story outweighs it, so yeah.
You were afraid that you were going to get clapped the same way as Gebra, but then...
I mean, the only time I had trouble was actually, like, day 49, and even then, like, I forgot the cheese strat that we did the first time, like, how we did it, and then, like, once I remembered it, like, we just beat L Corp in the same episode, so, like, I don't know. Bina got clowned. I did her suppression twice, and on the second time I beat it in 14 minutes, and that was the fastest suppression I think I've done in the entire, like, series. So
that was the fastest episode ever. Yeehaw.
Bina, I'm sorry, you got clowned. Angela, I don't like your bedroom eyes. Stop doing them. Thank you. I'm glad it's over.
Luckily, yeah, she stops it in library.
In library? Oh my god, yeah.
She gave herself a big chest. Look, it's true. Look at everyone else's character portrait. The only one I can conceivably think is beating her out is Mio, but that looks like at art. Yeah. She even in library, she reduced everyone's assets.
Oh, Angela has like none in library. I don't think that has anything to do with like.
I know. I'm just saying.
But
she has the power. No, but Angela is a very like second in library. She's the second protagonist, and also, I would say, the zero antagonist. If you get my meaning, she's the protagonist, the second protagonist, because she's always there, like telling us and watching over us. And she's always speaking to us in many of the other groups. But she's also the dear antagonist, as in she's kind of the antagonist, but not at the same time, because of how she was created and how she keeps perpetuating this. And how she kind of, storyline-wise, made herself out to be a big B.
I mean, I think she's an anti-hero. Like, there's not really a character, like, arc, I guess, or a character, what's the word?
I can agree archetype. She's an yeah.
I would say she's an anti-hero, because, like, I don't know, I think actively she restrains herself against fighting us, the player, because she knows that we're not the one that she wants. She wants A, but she knows she cannot get to the real A, because, you know, he's sealed away at the bottom floor. You know, and she's only allowed to be in the main room, which from Wonder Lab we know is in a different area than we think it is. It's kind of like in the facility, but way away from where we think, you know, all the work happens and stuff. So, you know, and Angela's not allowed to leave that room.
Yeah.
But based on all that, she's not allowed to leave that management room. So, you know, Angela's forced to watch this go on and on and on, and she doesn't have the cognitive filter. And, you know, she's just watching everything. And, you know, Hakma purposely made her be able to feel human emotions and understand them. He purposely made her able to feel a sense of time, but time slower, as if it's just passing really slow. And she can't, and Angela doesn't have a concept of, like, time extensively. So to her, everything just happened a moment ago, as if it was still current. And, you know, when Angela finally decides that she's going to take her revenge, she literally says, it's been 1,000,000 years and we finally completed the cycle. Because Angela doesn't forget anything. And everything to her happened just moments ago. Like, she remembers it as if it was just a second ago. So, like, all of that, you know, just building up, and eventually, you know, Angela, even though she was initially not the most emotional, she does express a lot of rage in small bits over time. And eventually, at the end, when she decides, do you guys want to see my human smile? the thing that I've worked on and practiced to show that I'm happy right now. Happy because she finally figured out what a desire is. Because to have desires is to be human. And obviously, like, that builds up into the second game. But Angela blatantly admits that she killed A. Like, she was like, yeah, he's sleeping now. And, she, you know, just flipping over his portrait. To me, that just... She got her revenge, but that definitely wasn't enough to sate her desire. And, you know, Hakma's then like, oh, so I see you figured it out.
Here's the thing, though. Actually, both A and Hakama did all of this, but I feel like there was another underlying thing they're trying to do. But I think it's more of A who knew the underlying thing. Hakma was just simping over A, not gonna lie.
Hakma's a homie.
Hakma be a...
I mean...
I thought you said... I thought you said Ayase, and I'm like, Ayase?
Hakma is a homie.
Okay.
Let's see. I think... I don't know. I feel like... I really don't know why A went through all the troubles to violate the AI ethics amendment to make Angela, but I think the biggest thing there was just... He wanted Carmen back so bad. Like, if you kind of notice, you know, he tried to make Angela somewhat in Carmen's image. I don't know if Angela just chose to have that one ponytail, but, you know, like, Carmen has a ponytail. She has the little, like, bangs in the front. Angela has that. You know, she's kind of built like Carmen a little bit. Obviously, she's a little bit dramatized. I imagine that's because, I don't know, A's weird fantasy, I guess. But, like, she's definitely built in Carmen's image. She doesn't have Carmen's brain, but she has a digital copy of part of it. You know, so... To me, it just feels like A was trying to fill a gap that... Or fill the void in his heart that cannot be fulfilled. Because, you know, until you can look within and accept that that can't change, you can't get over that. And you cannot close that void in your heart. So... to me, Angela is a great anti-hero. I just don't... I don't know. I like the way she was written. I don't like her as a character, but I can appreciate how she fits into the story and very much how she was the last egg in the basket, and the reveal was definitely very beautiful, how it came out.
What if A created Angela because she's like... He knew that sooner or later Carmen was gonna come back. And so when creating Angela... He put all of those in so one day someone like Carmen is going to change the world. That's why he was willing to give all of these things. He's disgusted because it's not gonna be the same Carmen he knew. But that was it. He didn't... He was...
No, I don't think so, just because Carmen was confirmed dead before Angela was made.
No, that's what I'm saying. He built Angela as the second Carmen. He didn't like Angela because it was not the same Carmen that he knew. But he gave her emotions and feelings because he knew he was going to give himself up to continue and Carmen's dreams, which until now is Carmen's dreams, which now is Angela's dreams. You know? I feel like that's.
I see what you're saying now. When you said it the first time, it did not make any sense. I'll admit.
Yeah, sorry. I was just like.
Yeah.
I bit my tongue a while ago, so I've been like.
It's okay. Okay. Moving on though. I think Angela's an A tier because that was some pretty good writing with her. Malkuth. If there was an F tier, no, I'm just kidding. I don't like Malkuth because she also is like one of those, kind of reminds me of myself. I don't like her. I think Malkuth has some great character development. Admittedly, with her suppression, I wasn't a big fan. Only because the first time I had actually no idea what the mechanic even was. It wasn't until doing it again on day 47 that I realized exactly what it does and how to get around it. But yeah, like the first time, I didn't even know that it switched just a few types around. And then they would stay the same for 2 levels of the QP counter. And then it would switch again, and it would only swap 2. I didn't actually know that was mechanic. So going into that the first time, drove me crazy, but relatively it was easy. It wasn't like a big challenge. And then like her story is the most impactful to everyone else, but to herself, she kind of just brushes it off as nothing. Like, she's very dismissive of her own problems. And, you know, she, like, blames herself for it. I hate that I'm saying this out loud. And, you know, that kind of drove me crazy. She wanted to be a part of the experiment, and she failed. You know? And then that's when, you know, everyone was just like, oh, Carmen would be the perfect specimen. Carmen would be the perfect specimen. Even Malkuth said it before she was chosen. You know. And then Carmen, having watched another one of her people, like, died to her experiment that she designed. It's just kind of a weird concept. But yeah, like, Elijah, so Malkuth's first life, her passing away affected every single other person in the story. Like, everyone has referenced her at some point, and that just kind of drives me insane. Because
I don't like how everyone was like, hey, Carmen, you should have been the one doing this. Even Carmen knew in it. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep that out of my brain for now.
I mean, no, it was more so just like, they were looking for a capable specimen, and everyone was like, okay, you know, Carmen fits the requirements. It was the health conditions, and like the health requirements and like the mental, like, sanity requirements and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen was the perfect candidate. That was something that they all talked about, but A did not want that. When Malkuth said, hey, I want to do it, he took that because he didn't want it to be Carmen, because he knew what that would mean.
Mm-hmm.
And Malkuth failed that she was not a fit candidate. She failed, and she ended up dying for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but I don't know, I wouldn't say it's the will to stand up. I think it's the will to stand on your own. Like, the way that the wording is, the will to stand up straight, just is weird to me. I think it's the will to stand on your own. Because, like, yeah, at the end of the day, you don't need anyone's approval, but it's rude to not support your friends. That's the biggest thing, is, like, no one could have just told Malkuth, hey, you're doing great. Like, Malkuth, to me, is just kind of more of a society problem of just people not appreciating your work and who you are. And yeah, like, it's not even just the will to stand up straight, it's just people suck and people are greedy. And everyone else in this story can attest to that, because they all did something for their own selfish means. Malkuth actually did it because she was passionate about her work. And that's kind of sad. My girl was this so bad. I'm gonna put her in B tier, but I'm not a fan of her story, personally. I think the suppression was more fun than reading through that mess. Enoch? I'm sorry, bro. I actually have no idea.
He's going to the D tier, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, his suppression wasn't even really his. It was just his sister's. It was just his mountain of little bodies.
I think at this point, Enoch's story has potentially died. It's just he's related to Tiphareth or Hoopareth, so it's okay if you put him in D tier.
No, it's not even that. It's like, he's just there for Tiphareth's character development, because he's not even in Runia.
Yeah. No, it's because Enoch died. They couldn't save his brain, right?
Yeah, by the time that because Bina was the first lunchbox, I'm assuming they tried to preserve Enoch, but because it had been so long, like, it just wasn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that they couldn't get him past the mental state that he was at.
Mm-hmm. You go with your older brother, Green Bean.
F. Alright. We're getting down to the last two. Hawkma,
And you put him in A tier with Bina and Angela.
I think Hawkma's suppression was the biggest headache in the entire world. I had never done a green midnight up until Hawkma, and I still don't understand what happened that day. You know, but when Simon goes back for our, like, casualty compilation in Lobotomy. I guess we'll figure out then, because I still have no idea. Oh my goodness. His story, his loyalty to A, his dedication to his friend, the cutscene where the clock, him closing his pocket watch absolutely jump scared me. I will never forget. I also just won't forget it because Windows XP clowned me in the comment section, but, you know. I'm not salty or anything, I swear. But yeah, like, literally, just, it's just amazing to me how, like, I don't know. The amount of dedication to see the project be finished. I guess it's because Hakma's an older man. And, you know, he was getting to the end of his life. He ended up retaring and, like, living out the rest of his life. And then he just died of old age. And then A went and got his body. Like, A, let the man die in peace. Why did you have to do all this? But I don't know. Hakma just represents the, like, the culmination of time. And, like, wisdom. And to me, like, I don't know. It was just really funny how, yeah, he was basically, like, in charge of, like, the stuff with Time Track that they had. So to me, it was just really, really funny, but I enjoyed his story and the way that he talked about the history of the company and, like, the lore behind it and how he was just like, okay, you see this person, now you don't. Now they're back. Now they're gone again.
Young Hakma was so cute. He had glasses. Now he has a monocle. I'm not gonna lie, when you put Bina and Hakma beside Angela, it's like, don't talk to me or my kid again.
Don't talk to me or my daughter ever again. Oh my god. Alright, finally, Hoopereth. Goodness gracious.
I have to say though, as a character, she really makes you go, I hate you, but you're a small kid, so I can't hit you.
I don't know about you, but Hoopereth's the only one I'm gonna grade from Library of Runia.
Uh-huh.
I'm giving her an S tier simply because she immediately went to deck rolling in the face. No, I'm kidding. Surprisingly enough, I actually like Hoopereth's story. As much as I think she's the most annoying character and obnoxious in the entire world, I think it's well written, and, you know, as much as Enoch is the catalyst for it, and he just straight up is a throwaway character for her background, I think the fact that that defined everything about the way that she then looked at all the other adults in the facility and how they treated her, like as still a child, even though, you know, technically at that point she would have well been an adult based on how long Lobotomy Corp happened. Like, even in Runia, she says, you know, Angela gave me this body, but if she gave me a realistic one, I'd be a lot older. It definitely just... Tifrith's very wise, despite that she acts childish. She knows a lot. Or, not wise. And she's very intelligent, despite that she doesn't have a lot of, like, the years of wisdom. And the reason being for that is because she's with a bunch of adults that came here for a selfish project. And they're all here for their own reasons or desires. You know? And she's just some kid that they happened to pick up along the way because Carmen felt bad that these two kids were in the back street. So Tifrith has every right to be very angry with everyone because she could have just never been a part of this.
I mean, yeah. But learning from library, the back streets... Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way. She could have simply just gone away from being in the back streets, or she got put through years and years and years of hellish suffering. So, as I think it's as Hakma stated, there are some fates worse than death.
That's true.
So, that's that for me. But, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our tier list video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Other than that, though, guys, go check out Adora's stuff. Her stuff will be in the description below. Other than that, though, have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.